Well, Jennifer Cassidy is a former UN and EU diplomat and lecturer in diplomatic studies at the University of Oxford and joins us live from here in the UK. Jennifer, thank you for your time. A revived NATO, as we were hearing, marks 75 years. But how much is the political uncertainty that surrounds it clouding its future ahead of this summit, would you say?
So it is very different to the NATO summit that was last held in Washington in 1999, when they were also celebrating a milestone. They also had the key issues of facing a war in Europe and also welcoming new members. So there's similar variables now compared to the 50-year celebration of NATO. But today it is facing an increasingly geopolitical environment of uncertainty. These seems like cliche phrases at the moment that we are just repeating, but it is simply the truth. With the European elections, which we saw, some were positive, some were negative. We're also going to be seeing the upcoming, of course, US presidential election, which will play a key role in how NATO will be governed, particularly over the next 4 years. So there's a lot of political uncertainty surrounding the summit, which began today in Washington.
And how vital, Jennifer, will long-term commitments to Kyiv be to showing Russia's Vladimir Putin that the West is united against him at this summit?
Yeah, so one of the key pillars, there's 4 key pillars being discussed at the NATO summit. One of them, and one of the primary being Ukraine. And here they are planning to announce a €40 million aid package for military spending and training to Ukraine, which is not just going to be spending which will be given kind of at will or in bits. It will be institutionalized. And so Ukraine will know that they will be getting this $40 billion dollar package each year. And that's in addition, may I add, to bilateral spending between countries who are also giving aid to NATO. And what we're also expected to hear is an announcement that there will be a creation of a command base in Germany, which will allow for training and expertise given to the Ukrainian army regarding their military capabilities, and for them to, stock up on a lot of hard power and military, and also, as I said, continue their training and expertise. So that's one of the key thematic themes to come out, or that they're intending to come out of this summit, is their renewed and continued support to Ukraine.
We understand that China and Belarus have been holding joint drills near the Polish border. How much does NATO's strategic focus encompass China this time round, in particular this budding military partnership between Beijing and Moscow?
So, yes, it's important to note that it was only in 1999 that NATO actually formally announced that they deemed China a threat to NATO. And since then, they've been getting more aggressive on their language. And now with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, we have seen that language even ramped up even more. And now the increasing relationship between Russia and China, this is leading to increased assertiveness, not only in language, but as I mentioned, also in increased military spending. So China's, along with Ukraine, China is another dominant pillar. When I say China, it is the increasing aggressiveness that NATO are accusing Beijing of committing, particularly regarding the relationship that you just mentioned, that China has been supplying Russia with dual military machinery, which has they have accused Beijing, I might have to use the word accused, they accused Beijing of giving to Moscow, which was used in the Ukrainian war and threatened EU EU security. And also, we must note that in 2013, Russia imported 90% of its microelectronics from China, which were used for missiles, tanks, and other hardware capabilities regarding the war. So there's an increasing fear surrounding this integration of relationships between Russia and China, and it's key on the agenda, particularly as you just noted, with China now at this current time, and have started on Monday. Along with Belarus, they began an 11-day, what they're calling Eagle Assault. That's the name of the mission. And they are saying that it's just a training exercise on the border of Poland between China and Belarus.
Jennifer,
but,
thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Jennifer Cassidy speaking to us live there from Oxford here in the UK.